Liverpool 6, Qarabag 0. The Reds are safe and soundly through to the round of 16 stage of this season's Champions League. But elsewhere, what a phenomenal night of Champions League action that played out before our very eyes as the league phase drew to its conclusion. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another live stream. How are we all doing the morning after the night before as we reach the conclusion of the league phase for this season's Champions League? What a night of action. I felt like I properly had ADD last night. I did not know where to look. Obviously, I was mainly watching the Liverpool game last night, but once it got to about 2 or 3-0, even as much as Liverpool have disappointed me this season by not hanging on to Leeds, I did think that the night had was pretty much done and dusted as far as what Liverpool were concerned. I still maintain watching it, but my attention was constantly being dotted elsewhere. I was watching PSG versus Newcastle 1 minute. Then I flipped over to see how Napoli against Chelsea was doing. I was then paying attention to the other incredible games that were going on last night. Barcelona's game against Galatasaray was also on. Bayern Munich, I know that they'd already been through, and Arsenal were already through, but their game was also going on last night. It was a phenomenal night of football. It was a feast of football that I think we all enjoyed. And it just ended and was capped off in the most spectacular way possible by that phenomenal Benfica goal from, of all people, their goalkeeper. They needed that goal. They were already winning 3-2, but they needed one more goal to go through to the playoff stages in the round of 16. And who would pull it out the bag more than Jose Mourinho and his Benfica side, Trubin, the hero of the night, getting that all-important fourth goal that saw Benfica sneak into the playoffs by getting that final spot ahead of Marseille. What a phenomenal night of football, man. Like, I will be honest with you, and I think I've said this before, I was skeptical of this whole new league phase format. I was skeptical of it. But as time has progressed and as we've settled into the league phase more and more over these past couple of years, I absolutely adore it. I absolutely adore it. And especially for nights like last night, where my attention, like I say, was just being diverted everywhere. It was absolutely phenomenal. Liverpool got the job done, of course. Arsenal were perfect. Bayern Munich got there as well. Tottenham are similar to Liverpool, a very different side in the Champions League than what they are in the Premier League. Like I say, very similar to Liverpool. They get fourth spot as well. Barcelona came from behind to secure fifth spot. Chelsea had an incredible 5-goal thriller against Napoli that ended up seeing them secure themselves into the next round of the competition as well. Sporting left it late, but managed to find a victory to see themselves claim into the top 8. Man City, comfortable night in the end, beating Galatasaray by 2-0. So Pep Guardiola's side are set to the next round of the competition. But then, of course, we go down to the remainder of the remaining 16 teams that are going to be making up the playoffs. Real Madrid bottled it last night. They were third going into the game, into the final league phase game. Absolutely bottled it and ended up exiting the top 8. They are in 9th. Inter, big win for them last night, but not enough to see them secure themselves into the next round completely. They will be in the playoffs. PSG, the current holders of the competition, once again are in the playoffs. They know what being in the playoffs is all about, of course, having been there last year. Newcastle, big performance from them last night, but again, not enough to beat PSG or to secure themselves into the round of 16 properly. They are in 12th. Juventus, Atletico, Atalanta, and Leverkusen make up spots 13 to 16. 17th place are in Dortmund, Olympiacos in 18th, 19th for Club Brugge, 20th for Galatasaray, 21st for Monaco. Qarabag, who obviously had that massive thumping away at Liverpool last night, are in 22nd. Absolutely phenomenal stuff, by the way. The fact that even though they kept on losing goals, it was like they were yo-yoing up and down a lot last night as the night went on. Bodo Glimt, of course, are in 23rd. And like I say, sneaking into that final spot is Benfica. What a phenomenal night it was indeed. As always with these live streams, I'm going to be talking mainly about Liverpool. But of course, if you guys have anything that you guys want to talk about in regards to football, where you're watching from, who you are, or anything along those lines, get involved in the chat. Get involved in the chat. Really would appreciate it. Really would appreciate it. Whether you're old, whether you're new, who knows? But I really would appreciate talking football with you today, people, as always. Otherwise, make sure to hit the like button if you haven't already and subscribe if you are new. Both things have always and forever greatly appreciated. You guys are absolutely awesome. I cannot thank you enough for the love and support to the channel. Really do appreciate each and every single one of you. And like I say, I can't wait to talk some football with you today. Good morning, Fletch. I wasn't expecting this wonderful by Liverpool. Yeah, big up, Dean. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're doing well on this Thursday morning. Yeah, I mean, I never go into any game confident. I never go into any game confident anymore. I don't remember. I think that maybe the last time I went into a game confident with Liverpool may have been the Tottenham game just before Christmas last year. And because it's Tottenham. But at the same time, in saying that, I still don't go into any game confident anymore. I really, really don't. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's like Arnie Slot has done this whole thing, and we'll get on to him a little later. But yeah, he's just done this thing where I don't go into any game confident. And last night there was a little bit of nerves going into it, but then Liverpool played really well last night, and I think a large part of that is down to this team seemed to have a lot more confidence in the Champions League than they do the Premier League. And not only that as well, but teams seem to play differently in the Champions League in comparison to the Premier League. I think a lot more teams try and play football in the Champions League. And I think that plays into Liverpool's hands a little bit, because even though it's Qarabag, I know a lot of people will say, well, it's only Qarabag, like you're celebrating a win. Yeah, but it was only Burnley. It was only Bournemouth. It was only Wolves or it was only Leeds United, all these teams that we've only just scraped past or dropped points to. So it's big in terms of that regard, but like it was just an incredible night. It was an absolutely incredible night. Like I say, it's about time we went to one of these teams, put in a fantastic performance, and absolutely slapped them up. In the way that we did. We were on point. Our finishing was clinical. We could have actually had 7, 8, maybe even 9 or 10 goals on the night. We were just that good going forward. And like I say, Qarabag, they tried to play football. It was just on the night, Liverpool's pressing was very, very good. Our movement was very, very good. And we were sharp and we were actually intense with the ball at our feet. It was actually a really, really good performance overall. The problem with it is that I've seen this story play out multiple times this season where I'm not expecting us to play the same way against Newcastle, which is why I'm expecting us to drop points against Newcastle. I really, really don't think we're going to play that way against Newcastle, which means, you know, we put all our eggs in the Champions League basket pretty much. But it's possible that we're going to get a very tough draw the later the competition goes on. Can we get a win against Newcastle? Just hope we can make some consistency. Versus starting to tick. I said give him time. I said give the guy time and he will come good. I said give him time, give him space, give him the ability to or the time to and the patience to fit in, and he will do. And as far as what Newcastle goes, look, like I say, I'm not holding my breath against Newcastle. I think that it's going to be a very difficult game for us. It's going to be very different to how Qarabag set up, which means for me, I don't necessarily see us. I don't necessarily see us getting anything much out of that Newcastle game. Yeah, I'm not holding my breath on a win against Newcastle. Draw, probably. A win, maybe not. Donald is in the building. Says I just ate my underpants. Good for you, my friend. That's an interesting breakfast you've got going on there. Balaam, how you doing, my bro? I hope you're doing good. Lovely to have you here, my friend. Good win indeed. Good win indeed. Hope you're doing well, bro. Austin's in the building. Says football is whack, mate. Music is way cooler. How come Dave Tipper, Apex Twin, and Luke Viber are blessings to Earth from the UK? I've got no idea. Bro. Federico Chiesa has a Ryan Babel record in scoring from the bench. Yes, he does, because he very rarely gets start time. But yeah, I can't really think of anybody that played poorly last night, which was quite a surprise. Quite a surprise. Like, is that we're actually coming into this live stream in good spirits. But here's the thing. Just play the Champions League theme before every game now. Just play the Champions League theme before every game. Make it seem like it's a Champions League game. And Liverpool might actually play well from here to the end of the season. Maybe that's the key. Maybe we just need to play the Champions League theme before the beginning of every game. And then we might actually win as many games from now until the end of the season as possible. Like, yeah. Because that's the only way. That's the only way we win now. We win if it's a Champions League game. Free Chiesa indeed. When is your Premier League predictions video? Could we see you someday have a guest appearance from your viewers in these episodes, such as Dean? Yeah, I'm always happy for anybody to come on. Just let me know. Just let me know if anybody's willing to come on, and we'll have you on. This is, like I say, it's not just it's not just my show. It's your show as much as it is my show. So, like I say, if anybody's wanting to come on and talk some football with us, just let us know, and I'll drop the link in the chat. Qarabag did well this season, win against Frankfurt and a Danish team. I think hence why they have like 9 points in the league table phase. Yeah, the Qarabag coming into this one in pretty decent form. It wasn't like they were going to be pushovers or anything like that. It's they genuinely did get a few decent points. Did they draw to Chelsea as well? Am I just imagining that, or did they draw to? I want to say they drew to Chelsea. I want to say they drew to Chelsea. Yes, they drew 2-2 to Chelsea. Yeah. So they picked up some good points. They've picked up some good points over the course of this league phase. We just, like I say, we were just brilliant on the night. And like I say, a lot of people will say, "Oh, it's only Qarabag," but you know, when you kind of mock Liverpool for drawing to the likes of Burnley and Leeds and Sunderland and dropping points to this team and that team and the other team, like, what do you kind of expect? What do you kind of expect in this situation? But no, like I say, play the Champions League theme before every game from here on out and watch how this Liverpool team probably plays a lot better than what a lot of people were probably expecting. Have you seen Mbappe's goal that was disallowed? I think it should have stood. The ball was loose and out of control of the goalkeeper. I've not actually seen it, to be honest. I've not actually seen it. Like I said, my attention last night was so sporadic and dotted around all the other games. I saw Paphos's goal. That was probably the goal of the night. Paphos scored probably the goal of the night. That was an absolute rocket from Paphos. I thought Spurs' opening goal was harshly ruled out. I thought that was harshly ruled out. I saw their disallowed goal. I know they obviously went on to win, so it doesn't necessarily matter, but I thought it was kind of harsh that opening goal was ruled out for Spurs. And then, of course, watching Liverpool game, I saw João Pedro score his brace. That first João Pedro goal was an absolute rocket. And then, of course, I saw possibly the moment of the night, Jose Mourinho getting one over on his former club, Trubin with the goal, a goal from the goalkeeper. That's always a special moment. It brought back memories of obviously a certain Alisson Becker doing the same thing. But to do that in that kind of environment in the Champions League with pretty much the final moment of the game, that is absolutely special, and that will go down long in the history of Champions League football. It was absolutely phenomenal what happened last night. So you're saying Liverpool will win 4-3. A Premier League classic. I mean, I'll take any kind of win at this point. I really, really would. That we shall see. It's probably not. It's probably going to be one of them draws again. One of them draws again. Donna Talks Football's in the building. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Lovely to have you here with us. We need a defender also. Calvin Ramsey is needed to play. Well, according to Slot, we have better options than Calvin Ramsey, even though now he's our only naturally positioned right back. But apparently we have better options than him. So does that mean we're going to see more Szoboszlai at right back? Fantastic. But we didn't need a defender, did we? We didn't need a defender. It's the one dampener on an otherwise perfect night. The injury to Jeremy Frimpong. It's the one dampener on an otherwise perfect night. We didn't need another defender, though, did we? We didn't need it. We didn't need Mark Gahey. We didn't need to look into our defensive options for the rest of the season. We didn't need it. No. The most frustrating thing about it is that we were here in this situation a few years ago. That's what caused us to go and sign Ben Davies. I've said this before. That's what caused us to go and get Ozan Kabak on loan. This kind of situation is what caused us to go into deadline day in January and go, oh no, we need to panic buy a couple of players. We were in this situation a few years ago. I would have thought this club would have learnt from those mistakes. Instead, we're now looking at it going, Bradley's out for the rest of the season. Frimpong, it's so sad because he's been absolutely incredible these past few games. And now he's injured. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, but, it didn't look good. And we had to play, a makeshift right back. We've had to thaw out Wataru Endo. because our centre-back options are also extremely limited. Like, we were here a few years ago doing the exact same thing. And we've still not learnt. You see City, they go, we've got an injury to Gvardiol. We've got an injury to Ruben Diaz. Go and get Mark Gahey. Go and get him. They don't rest on their laurels. They don't wait around hoping for a miracle. They go and take action. We don't. We don't for whatever reason. We hope that a miracle will just fall into our laps. And it never, ever does. It never does. It never does. But like I say, it was otherwise a perfect night. Other than that, that was it. That was it. Such a shame. Such a shame. Should Liverpool sign Nossis Ilaz? Is to be next like a David. Google him. He is a right back. Nossis Ilaz is. I've got no idea, mate. I've got no idea. I can't say that I've seen him play, to be honest. So I've got no idea. Big up Rodrigo's in the building. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Lovely to have you here with us on this Thursday morning. Big up, bro. Great win last night, but Saturday's game is going to be a completely different story. Yeah, I agree. I've seen too many false starts for me to get ahead of myself. I've seen too many false starts for me to think that the Newcastle game is going to play out similarly to how last night did. Newcastle are going to go there, bit between their teeth. I know it's away from home, but their fans are still going to be really riled up because of obviously what happened during the summer with the whole Alexander Isak thing. So I get 100% get where you're coming from. It's going to be a completely different game. It's going to be very frustrating for both sides, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. The only downside was the injury to Frimpong, absolutely, and ruined a perfectly good night. It did. Ruined a perfectly good night. Did you see the way Benfica win this? Jose with... He's still got it. He's still got it. Mourinho's still got something, you know. He's still got something. And he would have gone to bed last night absolutely buzzing that he got one over on his former club. Absolutely buzzing that he got one over on his former club. He would have absolutely enjoyed that, to say the least. Not just because obviously, you know, they got through to the round of 16 stage and all of that stuff, but just for the reason that he got one over on his former club. He would have absolutely loved that. A goalkeeper score yesterday and a Paphos goal was the goal of the night. How much did this Cyprus team? Okay, so in terms of how aesthetically pleasing that Paphos goal was, it was the goal of the night, but the goalkeeper scoring was the moment of the night. Okay, there we go. That was the moment, but that was the goal, because that Paphos goal was phenomenal. Big up to Kiefer's in the building. It says, "Are you Jairo Rian?" I don't know who that is. Marina actually sent Trubin up. The big up Marco's in the building as well. How you doing? Well, my friend. The phenomenal thing about that whole moment was that it seemed at the time that before that goal went in, that Benfica were just playing for time. They would look like they were playing for time. They didn't realize, I don't think, the situation that they found themselves in, which was they needed another goal. I don't think they realized that until the crowd started to get a bit antsy and a bit like, come on, guys, what the hell are you doing? We need another goal here. And then they kind of like understood the message from the crowd to the players. Now, in 2026, I'm very much surprised that the coaching staff aren't all there on their phones or their tablets or whatever, looking at the same situation. I'm a bit surprised that that wasn't the case. It seemed like the crowd were urging them to obviously go and get a goal that would see them through to the playoff places. And then, of course, the free kick happens. And then the goalkeeper then gets sent up. And then, of course, you know, the rest, as they say, is history. But it was absolutely a phenomenal end to what was an absolutely incredible night of Champions League action. Chris is in the building, says, say something about King Charles. Well, he's still alive. Oh wait, it's just soccer talk, football, but yes. This is so bad. We might have Wheeling Fletcher being right back against Anthony Gordon or Elanga. I heard this Luke kid will have Anthony in his pocket. I mean, it may come down to that. It may come down to someone like me having to step in because we probably won't have any defenders if our trajectory of injuries continues in a couple of weeks' time, we may have to look at fans and go, you might have to play. Problem is, if I'm going up against Anthony Gordon, he's going to absolutely smoke me. He's going to absolutely smoke me. So yeah, probably not me. Probably not me. To be fair. What do you think Liverpool recruitment are smoking over there? P.S. Don't smoke kids. I don't know, but it's very, very strange. It's very, very strange. With January over, will it surprise you if Liverpool sign a defender on a loan deal? If it does, it shows you we've not learned anything from a few years ago. I highly doubt it. I don't know if obviously anybody would be available for us. But again, it just shows you like how we just throw money away and don't really invest it properly. And then we complain and moan that we don't do anything properly. If that is to be the case, let's say it's something we should have looked at as a permanent thing in January, but we've decided no, we're not going to. And I don't know why. I really don't know why. Because if this comes back to bite us later on in the season, FSG will have blood on their hands. Simple as that. Raheem Sterling is now a free agent. Yeah, big story yesterday. I don't know where he'd go to. I mean, obviously, first and foremost, he needs to drop his wage demands. His wage demands are ridiculous, so we need to drop his wage demands. Where would he go? I don't know. I don't know where he goes, to be honest. Supposedly, West Ham are meant to be interested. I could see him going to like a Crystal Palace or something, I suppose. Like I say, he needs to drop his wage demands. That's first and foremost. If he drops them to a suitable level, then there's a lot of teams, especially in the Premier League, that I think would take him. I even think potentially Nottingham Forest could. A team like Nottingham Forest, for example. Forest would take him. Palace, Like I say, West Ham. Bournemouth could be an interesting one as well. I don't necessarily think Bournemouth, but if obviously, desperation took hold, maybe. Potentially a Brentford, maybe, but I doubt it. It's going to be interesting to see what's next for Raheem Sterling. But it's probably something he should have done much earlier. It's probably something he should have done much, much earlier, especially when you consider like it's a World Cup year as well. When you consider it's a World Cup year, this is something he should have done a long, long time ago. Google Gnosis Ila. I don't know how you pronounce the name. I do apologize. He wears goggles. Okay, cool. Or as you put, Googles. Pafos goal was a good long shot goal. It was a rocket. It was an absolute rocket, and fair play to him for scoring it. Is there any truth in the Adam Wharton rumors? I know there was obviously a lot of talk about this. I think there is, but I don't think it's for January. I think this is for the summer. I think the summer Adam Wharton's gone. I think Adam Wharton will leave Crystal Palace in the summer. I think that will be the time where he goes to, with all due respect to Crystal Palace, a bigger club, because everybody is seemingly leaving Palace right now. Glasner's going, Gahey's gone, Eze left last summer, Mateta wants to leave as well, reportedly, and Adam Wharton would follow suit, I would imagine. Now, is he going to be going to Liverpool? Potentially. I think it would depend on where Liverpool are in the table, because there could be plenty of options out there for Adam Wharton. We're seemingly laying the groundwork, but that doesn't necessarily mean we'll get the deal done, because as we know, this is Liverpool Football Club, and the amount of times that we've done this kind of thing only to pull away when the player either turns around to us and goes, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. I kind of want to go in this direction to this other club as well, or whatever the case may be. It's probably going to be something that will be decided in the summer. I would be very surprised if in the final couple of days of this transfer window, Adam Wharton does leave Crystal Palace. Stranger things have happened, of course, but I would suspect that the Adam Wharton saga will rumble on well and truly into the summer. Again, I hope and pray that we get him. Do I think he improves us? Absolutely. Do I think he solves all our problems? No, I am not that deluded to think that. Do I also think that under this current Arnie Slot regime, he would solve a lot of our problems? No. I think he probably comes in, he probably looks good for a few games, and then probably turns into everybody else in terms of being, right now, mediocre. So, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know fully the Adam Wharton stuff. Obviously, I've heard the rumors that the deal is advancing. I've heard a lot of stuff like that. I just think that with Palace being in the position that they are, with Liverpool being in the position that they are, both teams will wait until the summer. But even then, there's no guarantee that Liverpool will get Adam Wharton, because a lot of people thought we'd definitely get Mark Gahey, and look how that turned out. So, yeah. Yep, there we go. That's just my thoughts on the Adam Wharton situation. But no, back to last night. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal night of Champions League action, and Liverpool were absolutely brilliant in their 6-0 victory over Qarabag. Like I say, only dampener on the night was that 2-minute injury to Jeremy Frimpong. It was so frustrating to see him go down. So frustrating to see that happen. And then, but from there, it was it was pretty comfortable. Like maybe we survived one or two early potential scares from Qarabag as they attempt to play some football through us. But then as soon as we kind of settled down a little bit, started to play our game, that's where Liverpool started to take control and take over. First and foremost, Alexis McAllister poaching very much from close range, gets us the opening goal, just crept over the goal line, 1-0 Liverpool. Then, of course, Florian Wirtz almost immediately after. Lovely little bit of play from Ekatike, keeps the ball, plays in Wirtz, and Wirtz with a confident finish into the bottom corner. Well taken by Florian Wirtz. And, of course, another goal contribution to boot. This guy is finally settling in. And I did say to everybody, give this guy some time. Give this guy some time, some patience, and you will see him flourish. And I think we're starting to see that with Florian Wirtz. He's starting to warm up to the occasion. Yes, he does look a little better in Champions League, but all our players look better in the Champions League than the Premier League, admittedly. But this will just continue to put the building blocks together of his confidence. I've even lost track of what happened last night. There was that many goals. 3-0 Liverpool obviously occurred when a certain Mo Salah scored another free kick. This is the incredible thing that Liverpool have got a trend of now recently. Not only scoring free kicks, but also scoring set pieces. Sacking that set piece coach was probably the best decision that we've ever made, because now we look dangerous from set pieces and we're scoring free kicks. Who would have thought it? Who would have thought it? Very similar to how Szoboszlai scored his free kick at the weekend. It was a layoff and Mo Salah absolutely fired it like an arrow into the top corner. It was absolutely wonderful to see not only that free kick obviously be scored, but also Mo Salah to be back on the score sheet in Liverpool colours. It was brilliant. It was nice to see him play with a smile on his face, and you know, he created a number of chances on the night. He set up Alexis McAllister for his hat trick. He created a number of good opportunities. He cut one back for Florian Wirtz in the first half, and it was either Wirtz or Ekatike, and I thought he should have hit it first time, and he tried to take a touch and make some more space for himself. But there was a number of good opportunities created last night by Mo Salah, so it was good to see him playing back with a smile on his face and obviously getting on the score sheet. Liverpool went 4-0 up when Ekatike, with a clever little bit of skill, managed to race away from his defenders before performing a very cool finish beyond the goalkeeper. Then it went 5-0 with Alexis McAllister grabbing his second goal of the night. Again, a bit of a mix-up in the Qarabag defense. Alexis McAllister pounces, rounds the goalkeeper, and taps it in to an empty net. And then Federico Chiesa fires in Liverpool's sixth, the substitute, getting on the score sheet for his fifth goal in consecutive substitution appearances, or something along them lines, to round off the night, the cherry on top of the cake. Liverpool were absolutely brilliant on the night. It could have been more, like I say. We had a number of opportunities. Ekatike had a couple. McAllister could have had his hat trick last night. Salah had one or two. Like I say, Gakpo continuously had opportunities which he failed to do anything with. A couple of good saves from the goalkeeper in there as well. It was just a fun night. It was a fun night for everybody involved. It was done in the least Liverpool way possible, in terms of there was very little drama that took place in the game. which is quite surprising considering that Liverpool like to do these kind of things the hard way. I was kind of expecting us to be constantly looking at the league table format all night in terms of will we get through? Will we have to play in the playoffs? And that never happened. There wasn't one night where I was looking for Liverpool in the league table and I was looking for teams elsewhere as to what was happening around us. So it was a good night. It was a very, very good night. Very, very clinical from Liverpool. And it was something that we needed. We needed a good performance and we needed a good result to boot. And that's exactly what we did. And like I say, I think the reason is because teams in the Champions League want to play football. They want to play football. And they're not quite as, they're not quite like the Premier League where they suss us out a bit easier. They're not quite like we're going to sit back, we're going to let you have the ball, and then we're going to counterattack you. We are so much better when we do that. We are so much better when we sucker teams in a little bit, and then we hit them on the counterattack. As I say, that's what worked against Inter. That's what worked against Real Madrid. That's what worked, obviously, against Marseille. And it's what kind of worked a little bit last night. Obviously, we had more of the ascendancy, but we had the better quality of players. And that is obviously a massive contributing factor as to why Liverpool were able to dominate last night. Do I think it will happen against Newcastle? No. I'm expecting us to drop points against Newcastle, unfortunately. So we shall see. Will be interesting to see who Liverpool play next. I can't remember who. I can't remember who. I can't remember what the bracket is. Trying to find the bracket. What's the bracket for us? Bear me 1 second, people. So we got Club Brugge, Galatasaray, Juventus, or Atletico Madrid, which is different to what we had last year because, of course, we had to get the eventual Champions League winners and the toughest round of 16 group. Even though we topped the group, by the way, we still got the toughest round of 16 draw you could possibly get. And not only that, but this year, Arsenal topped the group this year. And they're going to get a considerably easier one. Club Brugge, Galatasaray, Atletico Madrid, or Juventus for Liverpool. Meanwhile, Arsenal will get either Borussia Dortmund, Olympiacos, Atalanta, or Bayer Leverkusen. Seems slightly unfair, to be honest with you. Like, what's all that about? Arsenal top the group and they get one of those four. We top the group and instead we get PSG. Like I say, seems a little unfair if you ask me, but it is what it is. Anyway, so we get, Atletico, not the same Atletico as what they have been in previous years. Juventus, not as strong as what we've known them to be. Galatasaray, yeah, that's going to be interesting if we get them, considering that we've already lost to them this season. And Club Brugge could be an interesting one. Club Brugge could be very interesting in terms of the kind of squad that they have. So a couple of interesting potential ties in there, and then I think we get a tough quarterfinals, and the semi-finals is obviously going to be extremely tough. So we shall see, obviously, where we go from there. But yeah, the brackets are going to be now very interesting, especially as we head into the playoffs, as to who obviously makes it into the round of 16. Good to see Salah score, absolutely. Albert Riera, Liverpool legend or no? He could be new Frankfurt manager. No, not a legend. Not a legend. Surely Dirk Kuyt, he was a good player. Played right back in his career for Holland, for the Netherlands. Should be next Frankfurt manager. And no, I am not Dirk's agent. Yeah, I like Dirk Kuyt. I like Dirk Kuyt. Like Champions League teams like to play football. Correct. We're drowning with Arsenal away a little bit yesterday. We're drawing with Arsenal away a little bit yesterday. Yeah, like I say, Arsenal weren't taking that game seriously though. Let's be real. Arsenal were not taking that game seriously, or as serious as what they could have done. Let's put it that way. They were already through. They were already topping the league phase. It was just a case of, being perfect, which is what they did by winning all 8 of their league phase games. Javier Mascherano win MLS as manager. Rafa Benitez boys are not too bad. I hope Liverpool play with no fear against Newcastle with intensity. We are at home, so we need to be up for this one. Yeah, I hope the same. I genuinely hope the same. I hope that we carry our Champions League form into the Premier League, but I have very little confidence when I see us drawing to Leeds, drawing to Burnley, losing to Bournemouth. I have little confidence when that happens, so I don't know what to expect. I really don't know what to expect. We could go there and, if we play the Champions League theme before the game, maybe we might actually win. If we don't, it might be a bit of a struggle. Who knows? I have to go, Flair. It's good to talk. So, Liverpool versus Club Brugge, a repeat of a European Cup final in a way. Yeah, I mean, it potentially could be. Either way, it's going to throw up an interesting tie for Liverpool, something that we'll have to contend with. But always good to talk to you, my bro. Always good to talk to you. Glad that you're here with us, as always. And thank you for your love and support. Really do appreciate it, man. So thank you, and thank you once more. Moving on to the post game. Because as good as what the night was, as fantastic as what the performance was, with only one moment that really irritated and frustrated me was obviously the Frimpong injury. Everything else that night was perfect. Once again, though, despite everything, despite it being a fantastic night, despite us getting the job done in the least drama way possible. Despite Liverpool sailing through to the round of 16, putting in a fantastic performance, putting in an incredible win. Despite all of that, Arne Slot still has to find a way to kind of ruin it. Arne Slot still has to find a way to ruin things. I put out a video yesterday talking about Arne Slot has lost the plot. And I know it rhymes. If you haven't seen it, basically, in a nutshell, go back and see it if you haven't already. In the nutshell, I basically talked about how in the build-up to last night's game against Qarabag, Arne Slot was in a press conference and he was talking about how the PSG game last season, how getting knocked out by PSG was a sort of blessing in disguise for Liverpool as they went on to win the Premier League because of that, in his opinion. His opinion, he said, was not going to be a popular one, but he said that getting knocked out to PSG helped the team go on to win the Premier League. And I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I could not believe in any way, shape, or form what I was hearing from that. It's not true, by the way. Liverpool's form in the first half of the season was too good, and I think we would have got across the finish line anyway, whether or not we beat PSG or not. But at the same time, in saying that, I called him out on it. I said, this is stupid. This is ridiculous. He can't be saying things like this to a massive club like Liverpool, because Liverpool are used to competing on multiple fronts every season. Liverpool should be used to playing 2 games a week every season. Liverpool should be in the conversation and the contention for major honours, not just one honour, but multiple honours per season. And I said that obviously it was ridiculous considering that, we got played off the park by PSG. We got beat in the Carabao Cup final to Newcastle. And of course, we got beat in the 4th round of the FA Cup by Plymouth Argyle. Something he needs to take responsibility for. Now, if he can't handle 2 games a week, he shouldn't be here. Because Liverpool are a team that need to be in the major competitions for as long as possible. Liverpool are a team that need to be competing for multiple honours in a season as much as possible. If he can't handle 2 games a week, he shouldn't be here. That was basically what I said yesterday. But then, in an extremely bizarre post-match interview, Slot has once again said an absolutely stupid and unnecessary comment. Someone needs to tell this guy to shut up. Someone needs to tell this guy to stop talking. Either that or he is trying to talk himself into getting the sack. Because you can't be saying stuff like what he's saying right now to the press in public. I've called him out all season. Him exploiting and highlighting Liverpool's weaknesses whilst also saying he can't solve them. He's the head coach. What do you mean you can't solve them? That's your job. You're basically saying you can't do your job. Him saying that Calvin Ramsey, even though he's now our most naturally fit right back, apparently we've got better options ahead of him. Well, now we're going to have to use those better options, apparently. So I can't wait to see what you've got lined up for us in terms of we're probably going to have to put Curtis Jones back there or Dominic Szoboszlai, because who the hell are we going to put at right back now that both Frimpong and Connor Bradley are both injured? Because why would it be our naturally choice right back? Why would it be that natural choice right back that we have? Doesn't make any sense. We need to go for a makeshift one. Of course we do. How stupid of me. Him saying that Cody Gakpo playing as many minutes as we did is because we don't have cover there. What a ridiculous statement when we all know that's not true. We all know we have options in that particular position. Him saying that Rio Ngamoa has already played enough minutes for someone of his age this year. Again, another ridiculous statement. He has made so many ridiculous statements, given so many stupid answers, many moronic opinions already this season. But then after last night, after the incredible win, after safely and soundly going through to the next round of the competition with an incredible result and a fantastic performance to boot, Arne Slot decides to come out and say something incredibly stupid that just puts a bit of a dampener on the night. He said, and I quote, "We are happy to be in the last 16, especially when only 2 years ago we were in the Europa League and lost to Atalanta." Not making this up. He genuinely said this. What are you talking about? What are you saying, you idiot? You moronic, bold fraud. What are you talking about? We are happy to be in the last 16, especially when only 2 years ago we were in the Europa League and lost to Atalanta. Now, it's factual. Yes, of course it is. But why are you bringing it up? We were in the last 16 last year. Did you say it then? Did you say, oh, last year we were in the Europa League against Atalanta and we lost that game? You weren't even there. That was Klopp. That was Jurgen Klopp. And yes, we absolutely bottled the Europa League that year. We should have gone on and won it. We were the favourites. We messed up that year. But why are you bringing it up? And it goes back to what I was saying in my video yesterday. This guy is lowering the standards every single time he speaks. And why is he lowering the standards? To make his achievements look better and bigger than what they are. I think personally by bringing that up, he's basically saying like, he's basically saying like we should be grateful. We should be grateful to be in the round of 16 because we could be in the Europa League if not. I think that's personally what he's saying. Like, what are we doing here, man? What are we doing here? I think that is what he's saying. I think he's genuinely saying, like, you should be grateful that you have this. You should be grateful to just be here. This guy can't manage Liverpool Football Club going forward. He just can't. Because he's coming out with stuff like this. And the statements are ruining the club, or they're lowering the standards or the expectations. Because I can already imagine there are people out there that are lapping it up and going, he's so right. He is so right. Klopp got us into the Europa League. We've not been in the Europa League under Slot. Morons. Absolute morons. I don't know, man. I read that and I was like, nah, this guy's done. This guy is done. I love that we won. Obviously, I want to win every game. I have no agendas here. It's a case of I want Liverpool. I want what's best for Liverpool Football Club. But at the end of the day, like he's still saying stupid stuff like this. And it's been going on all season. Like I say, this is not just like a one-off thing. This is not just a sporadic thing. This is like a constant thing now. This is a constant thing where he's losing the plot. He's showing signs that this job or the pressure is getting to him. You can't be saying all of these things that he's been saying all season, whether it's about highlighting Liverpool's weaknesses, whether it's about talking about specific players and how we have better options than them, even though they are the natural choice in that position, whether it's about players that have to play more minutes because we've got no players that can fit in those positions, even though that is wrong and factually incorrect. Or whether it's about us being grateful for the position that we're in, even though we are Liverpool freaking Football Club. And we should be competing for major honours and multiple honours at that, season after season after season. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? This guy is clearly cracking under the pressure. This guy is clearly either he genuinely believes this stuff, which is terrifying if it is terrifying if it is. If he genuinely believes this stuff, then he's obviously got the wrong mindset to be managing Liverpool. Or if he's just saying it, then it's a case of then it's a case of he wants to get sacked. He's trying to talk his way into getting the sack. I genuinely think that is probably the case when it comes to Arne Slot right now. Because, like I say, no one can. Could you imagine Sir Alex Ferguson talking about Man United this way when they were in their prime? Could you imagine if Sir Alex Ferguson came out and was like, "Well, before I came here, you know, we had years where we weren't in the Champions League, or we had years where we weren't obviously at the peak of our powers and stuff like that." Could you imagine Pep Guardiola making reference to the fact that before he came, City had only won 2 Premier League titles before he came? Or, you know, maybe over a decade before he came, they were competing like mid-table in the Premier League, in the Championship, wherever they were. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if they did that? And yet we've got this guy who basically is now, I mean, from that quote alone, is seemingly somewhat attacking Jurgen Klopp for being in the Europa League, and also stating we should be grateful as Liverpool fans that we're in the round of 16. We should be grateful for our participation trophy in the Champions League. Yeah, great. Well done. 2 years ago, we were in the Europa League fighting Atalanta. Atalanta, by the way, who are in the playoffs of the Champions League this year. Just saying. But it's so incredibly tone deaf from him. It really, really is so incredibly tone deaf from this guy. And like I say, I'm happy that we won last night. I very much am. But as far as I'm concerned, Arnie, you've done your job. You've got us through to the round of 16. Now, please just go before this gets any more embarrassing. Please. That's why we miss Klopp. He lifted Liverpool to amazing heights. He did. Heights in terms of silverware. Heights in terms of getting players to perform much better than what they were predicted to be or what we thought they would be. Like, some of the players that he had played out of their skin, played to new levels that they didn't even probably think they could get to. All of them looked good. Even during the bad periods of Jurgen Klopp, where maybe the team weren't exactly going through the best of spells. Maybe we were going through, some really bad moments in terms of not getting the results that we needed or whatever the case may be. It wasn't because the players were bad. It was just because like the legs had fallen off or things like that. It wasn't like morale was low or anything. Those players were still prepared to run through brick walls for them. It was just that they were incapable of doing so. Klopp did incredible things. Klopp got us third with practically no centre-backs for half a season, or at least no fit senior centre-backs for half a season. That's the wonder. That's how incredible Klopp was. Klopp got us 2 games away from winning a quad. And this guy's coming out and saying, Liverpool can't handle more than 1 game a week. PSG did us a favour by knocking us out the Champions League. I get that if he was at like PSV or something, maybe it's more acceptable. Maybe it's more acceptable. But you're at Liverpool Football Club. You've got a history that is so far behind you, that is dominated by European success. And you're turning around and saying that Liverpool should be grateful for where they are in the Champions League, and that 1 game a week is sufficient enough for Liverpool to be successful. Like, are you mad? Are you absolutely mad? Big up to everybody that's watching. We're going to go for a little while longer, but make sure you are hitting the like button and subscribing if you're new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. Appreciate you all being here. Appreciate the love and support. And obviously, keep getting involved in the chat. Really good talking to you people. Really do enjoy it. Slot probably got his excuses ready for Newcastle. He's going to blame the rain or the ball for being round. Yeah, probably. I don't know. I don't know what the excuse will be on Saturday if obviously we... I guess it will probably be something like, well, we played on Wednesday and then obviously we played on Saturday. And it's like, well, Newcastle did the exact same thing. So what are you on about? I don't know. Either way, it's not going to be pretty. Like, as I said in my video yesterday, like, I don't pay attention too much to what managers say in press conferences. At the end of the day, press conferences and interviews are basically PR pieces where 9 times out of 10, if you're going through a good spell, you go, everybody's singing off the same hymn sheet right now. There are some real good, feel good vibes in the dressing room. And we are just enjoying every moment right now while it lasts. Cool. Simultaneously, if obviously you're going for a bad patch, you go, yeah, things haven't quite gone our way. There are some things that we need to sort out on the training pitch, but we're making every effort to turn around our fortunes. Cool. It's generic, it's media trained, it's all stuff like that from press conferences. It's all PR and propaganda pieces, all of that kind of BS, right? But every now and again, you get them pulling back the curtain. Every now and again, you get a comment from a manager that normally reveals a little too much. We've had it recently. Enzo Maresca calling out the club. Ruben Amorim doing the same thing. Both of them obviously ended up getting sacked. Slot has done this all season, by the way. Not exactly exposed the owners, but Slot has pulled back the curtain all season when he's talking about Liverpool can't deal with set pieces. Liverpool can't deal with a long ball. I don't know how to deal with it. I'm just the head coach after all. Why would I know how to deal with all this stuff? He's done that all season. And now he's going proper nuclear because it seems that every press conference and interview, this guy is just talking absolute bollocks. That's what he's doing. But yeah, I don't know. It's so strange. It is so strange when you look at what he's been talking about. When you look at what he's been saying, it's just the strangest of the strange. Big up Grandiosa, who's in the building. How you doing? Well, my bro. Lovely to have you back with us. It says congrats with round of 16. So happy. Yeah, well, everybody did. City did. Liverpool did. Chelsea did. Obviously Arsenal, of course. Tottenham. The only English team not to quite make it so far is Newcastle. But we'll see obviously how they do in the playoffs. But I think, haven't they got a very tough potential playoff? Let's have a look. Newcastle UCL playoff. Oh no, they'll so they'll either face Qarabag or Monaco. That's actually not bad for Newcastle, to be fair. It's actually not bad for Newcastle. Monaco or Qarabag. It's pretty decent. It's a favourable game either way, I think, for Newcastle to get through to the knockout stages. It's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. And then Liverpool will obviously face either Juventus, Atletico, Club Brugge, or Galatasaray. I still don't think it makes sense. I still don't think it necessarily makes a lot of sense. Like, I don't know. I would have thought you probably should, I don't know, probably get one of the easier games by, if you come top, you get either like the bottom two or something. I don't know, in the playoffs. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's a strange one. It's a strange one, but it is what it is. It's probably the only small thing that's slightly flawed in this league phase, in this competition's new format. But at the end of the day, like it's still an exciting format. I still like it. I still like it. Bodo managed into the playoff, gutted to be Norwegian. They got Bodo Glimt, man. They got Bodo. That win against Man City was massive. Massive for Bodo Glimt. And of course, beating Atletico last night. They're only 2 wins, by the way. That's how incredible the Bodo Glimt story is. Like, them 2 wins really did propel them into the playoff spots. The final 2. Two massive wins, and you probably wouldn't have expected them to actually you probably wouldn't have expected them to actually win either of those 2 games, which makes it even more incredible. But yeah, they're through to the knockouts, and they will face Qarabag, is it? Do they play each other, or did they play? Are they set into like little brackets and then they play? So, oh no, Newcastle will face one of them too, and then so so Qarabag will and Bodo Glint. No, wait, Monaco. I'm so confused. I keep missing stuff. Right, Bodo Glint is coupled with Benfica, and they will take on one of, I think, Real Madrid and Inter. So it's not exactly looking good for either team, to be fair. But Benfica could face Real Madrid again, and if they do, that would be hilarious. that would be hilarious if that was to happen. Yeah, don't look good for Bodo Glint though, unfortunately. Will you go live after the Newcastle game, or will you react to the match day after Fletcher? What am I doing? What am I doing that night? Probably working. Probably working. Yeah, I'll probably save it for the morning after. I'll probably do a video the morning after, and then I'll probably go live on the Monday and talk about it more. So yeah, I'll probably do a video reaction on the Sunday, and then I will do a proper reaction to it on Monday. Benfica might face. Yeah, I've just worked that out. I've just worked that out after kind of going back and forth over it. That would be hilarious if that is to happen again, and then Jose Mourinho doesn't just get one over on his team, but gets 2 over on his old club. That would be hilarious. That would be something that would be fun to watch indeed. The thing on on UEFA made me very confusing. The way they made the end game. Yeah, I don't know. It's something that I'm just I get, but I also don't get. Like, I don't know. I get it like more and more, but I don't know. It's very strange, but we shall see. Kind of. I don't understand why. So when are the games? When are the games being played? When are the games being played? When's the playoff places? So it looks like it's going to be about the middle of February that the playoff dates happen. And the draw is going to be made on Friday at 11 a.m. So draw's going to be made at 11 a.m. on Friday. We'll obviously see then who we get and what we get from that, which is going to be interesting. But yeah, it should set up a very interesting not just playoff places, but round of 16, semi-finals, quarterfinals, semi-finals, and then of course we will get a picture of who may be making it to the final of this year's competition. Big up Pedro's in the building. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Lovely to have you here with us. But yes, a massive night of Champions League action. And obviously a lot more to come as well. Yeah, we'll just round it up then. Liverpool, Newcastle on Saturday. Hopefully, we take our Champions League form into the game on Saturday. 8 o'clock. It's an 8 o'clock game, isn't it? Yes, it's an 8 o'clock game. Why? What else we got going for us? Of course, it's an 8 o'clock game because there's no 12:30 game. Again, another weekend and no 12:30 game. Why? Just why? You got no 12:30. Right. Here's the frustrating thing with this, right? You've got no 12:30 game on Saturday again, right? But Brighton versus Everton is a 3 o'clock game on Saturday. Wolves versus Bournemouth is a 3 o'clock game on Saturday. Man United versus Fulham is a 2 o'clock game on Sunday. Sunderland Burnley is the 8 o'clock game on Monday. Not one of those teams who I've mentioned is in action in any sort of midweek capacity in Europe. None of them are playing Champions League football. None of them are playing Europa League football. None of them are playing Europa Conference League football. But yet, apparently, Not one of them can be put on the 12:30 game on Saturday. Why? Why? Make it make sense. Whoever's doing the scheduling this season for the Premier League is a frigging joke. No 12:30 game on Saturday. Are you taking the mick? But you'll put all the games on together, all crammed into one on Sunday. Even though 2 or maybe even 4 of the, I can't remember now, 2 or 4 of the teams that are playing are not in European action for that week. Whoever has made this the scheduling this season needs to be sacked. Needs to be sacked. Absolutely abysmal. Bodo will get Inter or Real Madrid. We don't know if it will be the silver path or blue path yet. Yeah, it will all be made on Friday, 11 a.m. London time at least. It will be all revealed which path these teams will be going with. I think they'll also do. I think they'll do the entire route to the final, won't they? So it's going to be interesting. That's going to be a very interesting draw on Friday for us to look into. And I, for one, cannot wait to find out who Liverpool will be facing. I'm sure it's going to be painful because it's Liverpool. But yes, I can't wait to see who will be facing in the latter stages of the Champions League. But that's really irritated me. No 12:30 game on Saturday for the Premier League. No 12:30 game. You could have had Wolves Bournemouth, but no. You could have had Brighton Everton, but no. You could have had Man United Fulham, but no. You could have had Sunderland Burnley, but no. What's the point? Oh, but next week we've got a Friday game. Next week we have a Friday game. Leeds United versus Nottingham Forest. We have a 12:30 game as well. And then we have a 5:30 game. And then obviously 2 games on the Sunday, including, of course, Liverpool versus Man City. So, yeah. And then we've got midweek games after that. Ooh, midweek games. Nice. You know what? I don't mind that. From the 10th to the 12th. Brentford versus Arsenal on my birthday. Fair enough. And then obviously it'll be the FA Cup weekend. That's why. So we're playing the midweek game because it'll be the FA Cup weekend. That makes sense. So Valentine's Day weekend will be the FA Cup games, followed by, of course, a week later, more games. And then I'm assuming that weekend will be the weekend that the Carabao Cup final will be on, the end of February, beginning of March. Oh. Why is the Carabao Cup final the end of March? That's like the latest I've ever known the Carabao Cup final, unless obviously it was probably late in COVID. That's weird. Why is the Carabao Cup final at the end of March? That's so weird. I'm so used to it being like the end of February, beginning of March. Why is it at the 22nd of March, the Carabao Cup final? That's weird. No, that's weird. That's really, really, really weird. That's too late for me. That is way too late. You might as well have it at the end of the season. That is nice, especially for his football lovers. Yeah, absolutely. There's no need for it as well. There's really no need for it. Copenhagen were robbed, should have been a draw. I say this as a Barca fan. Lewandowski's penalty was phantom, was no one near him. I was sure VAR was going to disallow it, and Copenhagen should have stood. There was a few decisions yesterday that didn't quite make sense. I thought Liverpool had given away a penalty when Ryan Gravenberch bundled the Qarabag attacker in the area. I thought that was going to be a penalty. It wasn't. The Newcastle handball was less of a penalty than the PSG handball. I felt Newcastle should have been awarded a penalty. The PSG player handballs it. It's a clear handball, but yet wasn't given. But yet I've seen weaker handballs given in the Champions League than that one. So weird. Yeah, so weird. There was a few strange decisions yesterday. Fair few. Mad. So bizarre. So bizarre. There was quite a few yesterday, but big up for your honesty, though. Big up for your honesty, though, being a Barca fan. What is a 12:30 game in 2 weeks? So next week, the 12:30 game next week is Man United versus Tottenham on the 7th of February. But then obviously the week after is the FA Cup weekend, so there won't be a 12:30 game in the Premier League then. But when the Premier League does resume on the 21st of February, the 12:30 game is Man City versus Newcastle. So some exciting games coming up. Arsenal still conceding against last team in the Champions League. I don't think they would have done if they were playing properly. I don't think they. I don't think they. I don't think they would have conceded if it's if they were playing properly. They'd already gone through. They rotated last night. Kai Havertz was back. You know, I don't think they would have conceded if they were playing properly. So I don't think it's anything to be concerned about majorly. But they passed with flying colours, so you can't really blame them for that. Yes, yeah, you are at home. You're going to be at home for the Newcastle game. Man, the goalkeeper saved Benfica. That is unreal. Yeah. Yeah. It will go down as one of the most incredible Champions League moments of all time, outside of a final. Outside of a final, one of the most incredible Champions League moments of all time. Trouble continuing at Real Madrid, seemingly. Like I say, they bottled it last night. They went into that game third in the table. Third. They just needed a point to go through. And they flopped. They absolutely flopped it. Phenomenal stuff. Glorious scenes. Glorious, glorious scenes. Such fun. Such fun. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up there, guys. Thank you all so much, each and every single one of you, for watching, listening, taking your time out of your busy schedules to hear the ramblings of this guy. But as always, I want to know what you guys are thinking and feeling. So continue to drop your thoughts and comments and opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, on anything that we talked about in this video down below in the comment section. Use the views that section, people. Talk to me on this. Would love to know what you guys have to say. Big up Gerson, who's just joined us. We're still open in midfield, and Newcastle will run through our midfield like nothing with their pacey attackers. Look, man, I'm hoping we win, but I'm not holding any. I'm not confident, bro. I'm not confident. Newcastle, with their midfield, are going to outmatch us physically. They're gonna be more tenacious. They're going to be really, really up for this one. And the only hope we have is if Newcastle go a bit overboard again and get someone sent off. Like, we may get a draw out of it. I'm probably backing us to get a draw out of it. But that's probably the best result we're getting. That is probably the best result we are potentially getting on the day. So we shall see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But like I say, I'm not holding my breath on anything massive. I'm not holding my breath on anything massive. But things definitely do need to improve. We know that for sure. Thank you, Fletch, says Dean. No, thank you, bro. Always a pleasure to talk football with each and every single one of you. As always, hit the like button on the way out if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things are always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks live stream. Have a wonderful day, people. And I'll see you and talk with you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you all again very, very soon.